If you keep saying I'll do it tomorrow, this video is about you. You're not lazy. You're not unmotivated. You're stuck in a psychological loop that's quietly destroying your progress. And most people never escape it. Today, I'm going to break down the real scientific reason you procrastinate, why your brain keeps choosing comfort over action, and how professionals actually fix it. No motivation lies, no fake discipline. Welcome to Master of Report, the channel where we expose the truth behind human behavior, success, discipline, and mindset, backed by real research, not opinions. Let's get into it.
Okay, you know the feeling. That huge deadline is staring you down, you've got that big project to tackle, and for some reason, you find yourself doing, well, anything else. We all call it procrastination. But it's not just about being lazy, not at all. It's actually a pretty complex signal coming from deep inside your brain. And today, we're gonna decode that signal together. I mean, it's the classic scene, isn't it? The most important task of the week is breathing down your neck, and all of a sudden, alphabetizing your spice rack feels like the most urgent and necessary thing in the entire world. This isn't just some weird quirk you have. It's the procrastination paradox in full effect. We avoid the important thing by getting incredibly busy with something that just doesn't matter. For so long, we've all been told the same story, right? It's about being bad at time management, or you just don't have enough willpower. But what if that whole story is wrong? We're about to peel back the layers of this thing and find out that procrastination is actually a message. It's a surprisingly sophisticated defense mechanism that our brain uses to try and protect us. So, let's start with the story we usually tell ourselves. This is the one you've probably beaten yourself up with 1,000 times. I call this the tough love perspective. This idea frames procrastination as basically a moral failing. It says that every single time you put something off, you're making a choice. You're choosing a little bit of comfort right now over your own future. You're basically telling your goals and dreams that they aren't worth the effort. It's a really powerful way to make yourself feel terrible. And, as it turns out, it's mostly missing the point.
Because, while discipline definitely plays a part, modern psychology and neuroscience paint a much different picture, a more nuanced one, and frankly, a much more compassionate one.
And this quote right here from Dr. Timothy Peichel, who's a leading researcher on this, absolutely nails the new way of thinking. This one sentence reframes the entire problem. It's not about your calendar, it's about your feelings. Okay, so what does that actually mean? Well, here's the crucial part. When you put off doing your taxes, you're not actually avoiding the paperwork itself. You're avoiding the feeling of stress that the paperwork creates. You're avoiding the fear that you might mess it up, or maybe just the intense boredom of the whole thing. Your brain is just looking for a quick escape from that bad feeling. That's it.
This is the perfect way to picture what's going on. It's like this constant tug of war inside your head. On one side, you've got your limbic system. It's your emotional, impulsive toddler brain that just wants to feel good right now. And on the other side is your prefrontal cortex. That's the logical, disciplined adult in the room. When a task brings up stress or fear, that toddler brain screams, yanks the rope, and wins, sending you off to find a distraction that'll make it feel better immediately.
But here's where things get really tricky. This isn't just an internal battle anymore. The world we live in has a huge say in who wins that fight. In fact, you could say our modern environment is basically a perfect training ground for procrastination.
I mean, just think about it. Your phone, social media, Netflix, they are all perfectly designed escape hatches. When you hit a tough spot in your work, your brain knows there's an easy back door to a tiny little burst of pleasure, that hit of a feel-good chemical called dopamine, and it's just a swipe away. Let's be honest, hard work just can't compete with that kind of instant reward.
So, just how powerful is this drive to escape discomfort? How much do our brains truly despise being bored? Well, a pretty wild study gives us a shocking answer.
Okay, get this. In a 2014 study, researchers put people in a room with absolutely nothing to do but sit and think. Their only other option? They could press a button and give themselves a mild electric shock. And the results are just mind-blowing. 2/3 of the men and a full quarter of the women chose to feel physical pain rather than just sit there alone with their thoughts. Isn't that insane? That's how much our brains hate being understimulated.
So this leads us to a really powerful strategy. If our brains hate boredom that much, we can use it to our advantage. If you get rid of all those easy back doors, If you make your environment so boring that doing your work is literally the most interesting thing available, your brain will eventually give in and choose the productive task. It's not about having more willpower, it's about setting up your world so that focus becomes the path of least resistance. But what if there's an even deeper layer? What if the bad feelings we're running from aren't just about the task in front of us or the distractions around us? For some of us, procrastination is tied to something much deeper, a protective strategy that we learned a long, long time ago. Trauma-informed strategists like Alyssa Smith see this behavior completely differently. They see it as a very intelligent survival mechanism. If you grew up with a deep fear of failure or judgment, then putting things off keeps you in a kind of safe harbor. I mean, think about it. You can't be judged for a project you haven't finished yet, right? Your brain is just trying to protect you from what it thinks is a coming storm. Now, when we say the word trauma, it's not always about what we call big T events like war or abuse. Avoidance patterns can get wired in from little t traumas, like being constantly bullied or harshly criticized for a mistake as a kid. But very often it comes from what are called tiny t traumas, these small repeated experiences, like learning that you only got praise and affection when you got a perfect grade. That can create a deep hidden belief that you're not good enough, which makes starting anything new feel absolutely terrifying. Okay, so understanding all of these layers, the discipline story, the emotional battle, the environmental traps, and even the trauma connection, that's the first huge step. Now let's put it all together and build a real toolkit that gives us a strategy for each one. All right, here's a game plan. First, for that discipline layer, try the 5-second rule. The second you have an instinct to act on a goal, you count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and physically move. This bypasses the part of your brain that makes excuses. Next, for the emotion layer, practice self-compassion. Instead of beating yourself up, try saying, "This is hard right now, and that's okay." It actually reduces the negative feelings that cause you to avoid things. For your environment, make distractions difficult. Put your phone in another room. Make the right thing the easy thing to do. And finally, for that deep trauma layer, regulate your nervous system. Before a tough task, just take 3 slow, deep breaths, or even just press your feet firmly into the floor. It sends a biological signal to your brain that says, "Hey, we're safe. It's okay to move forward." Because this right here might be the biggest takeaway of all. Waiting around to feel motivated is a trap. It's a myth. The real skill we're trying to build is the ability to act even when it's uncomfortable. It's about building that muscle to move forward even when you don't feel like it, knowing that action is the thing that actually creates momentum and eventually motivation. So, we've seen that procrastination isn't some deep character flaw. It's a human response to our feelings, our environment, and maybe even our past. You now have the knowledge and the tools. So the real question isn't whether you'll feel that urge to delay again, because you will. The question is, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to keep putting your life on hold, or are you going to move right now?
If this video made you uncomfortable, that's a good sign. It means you recognized something real. On Master of Report, we don't sell motivation. We break down how the mind really works, why people fail, and what disciplined people do differently. If you want more videos like this, about psychology, success, self-control, and real-world performance, subscribe to the channel and comment below. What do you procrastinate on the most, and why? Your answer might be the first step to fixing it. I'll see you in the next report.